Okay, so I saw the interview with Jess Hilarious and Joseline Hernandez that they just dropped. I want to say not even 2 days ago, and you know it's pretty recent because they brought up the Big Lex fight, and as we all know, that Big Lex fight is not even a month old. So I think she had said in the interview, she said she had just not too long just got out of jail. Um, I'm wondering, did they get married, Joseline and Ballistic? Because as much as Joseline put her life on social media, I would assume that she post the ceremony. I don't know. I mean, I always said when I get married, I want it to be very private. Just me and him, you know. Anyway, the details of that, to me, my ceremony, I want it to be very quiet, very intimate, just me and him, Anyway, everybody don't want a big wedding. Statistics show majority of the people that get had them big weddings anyway, they don't last, versus the people that have small weddings. They Statistics show that they usually their marriages usually really last. So I mean, I don't know, but me personally, I just wanted to be just me, him, and God, and of course whoever, um, the preacher or whatever, but just us, like looking into each other's eyes, and you know, it's funny because my dude said you always said it since you was a little girl. My mind has not changed about that. That's just how I always wanted it to be. But anyway, nonetheless, did she have that kind of ceremony? I don't know. I can't see her being the type that would have that kind of ceremony, because she strikes me as the type that would show it on social media. I don't even think Jocelyn showed us her ring. Um, I was so stuck on the part where she said, I didn't forget the time when she said, Ballistic don't go down on her. Like, how are you in a relationship and he don't go down on you? Huh? Like, that's your old man. He supposed to be always doing that. Like, but she said she do him, but he don't do her. I don't know. I don't know what that was about. But I remember when it first happened, people in the comments saying he knows she been around. He probably don't want to, I don't know. I don't know. So I don't know if they got married or not, but she was referring to him all through the interview saying that was her husband. I told y'all before, do I think Ballistic is for her? Yes. I think they had their issues like any other couple, but if he married her, congrats. But I think maybe she just referring to him as her husband because he always there for her. I think the thing that I like about Ballistic the most for her is the fact that she say every single day he picks Bonnie up for school, takes Bonnie to school, I like that for her. Matter of fact, I love that for her because, she's coming with a child and basically he's accepting her with a child. I know she had mentioned she wants to give everything that I'm mentioning. Y'all can go back and watch their interview on the Breakfast Club. Um, I know she had mentioned that she wants to give Ballistic a child. To be honest, y'all, I don't think I mean, of course I can't make that call, but I think Joseline has some more stuff she needs to work on before she can give birth to another child. But I know people always say no mother is 100% ready to be a mother. Even if you're rich and wealthy, that don't mean your mental is all the way there. That, even if you poor, that, you definitely, you're bringing a child into poverty, middle class, you still may not be all the way ready, So, I mean, I can't make that call. Like the old saying goes, nobody is 100% ready to be a mother perfect. Basically, nobody is perfect. Nobody but God, right? So, who am I to say she wasn't 100% ready with Bonnie? But Bonnie is doing all right based on what we see. She looks clean. She looks healthy. Obviously Jocelyn had her mess going on, but we don't hear Bonnie getting dragged into it. So she might be all right. You know what I'm saying? So who am I to say, So I don't know. Right? But I will say something that I do know for a fact. I think Joseline was a little, well, I can't say that. I take that back. I was about to say, I think she was full of it on the interview, as far as, when she mentioned, she was alluding to the fact that she don't like drama. Um, to me, to be honest, based on what I observed, it seemed like they knew she was full of it in the interview, because especially Jess, when you really think about it, I think Jess might be the right person for that show, based on what I heard, because she's already bringing a lot of controversy. And to be honest, I like Jess a little better on that show than Angela. I told y'all, if they had to choose the right person, I told y'all I did not think Remy would be right on the show. I do not want to keep hearing about Big Pun, rap battles. I told y'all I feel like she would make it about her, about hip hop. I don't want to hear you throwing a lot of subliminals at Nicki Minaj, because she's not even there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Remy, whether she admit it or not, she brings up Nicki a lot, even within her subliminals. Like, the conversation don't even have to be about hip hop. Somehow you gonna make it about people rapping that don't need to be rapping. It's just like, damn. I told y'all how I felt about Remy being on the show. I don't have nothing against Remy, but it's just, no, not for the Breakfast Club. I told y'all what I like Remy on. America Gangsta Trap Queen. I want Remy to have her own show with her own guests. Stuff like that. I told y'all I will watch. I like Remy interviews when it's about her talking about the things that she been through and stuff like that, but not on the Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club is full of different topics and stuff like that, and I feel like she'll always try to draw it back to hip hop. I don't really think I'm not gonna say she don't have the span for it, but I'm not gonna say that's not her lane, but I just feel like she'll take it from the Breakfast Club to Remy and the Breakfast Club. If that makes sense. Like, we don't even hear Remy crack a lot of jokes. Like, I think she's a little too serious for a show like that. Like, at least with Jess, I think between Jess and Claudia Jordan, I told y'all how I felt about, I felt that those two were two of the best candidates for that type of show. Anybody else, I really can't really see for real. On that, who else? But yeah, so nonetheless, so throughout the interview, I could just tell the way they was carrying it, like, just like, and DJ Envy just was like, yeah, right, you know, throughout the time that Joseline was talking, you could just tell that they low key was probably saying to themselves, like, yeah, right. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? That's something that somebody once told me. Whenever you talking to somebody and they just doing a lot of right, yeah, right, yeah, you go, girl, right, yeah, It's a sarcastic way of shut the hell up. We know we call cap, but they just not gonna say it. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna give you an example. Like, when Joseline said, I'm surprised that moment did not go viral, when she compared Joseline Cabaret to, I think she compared, was it Tyra Banks? You remember the Top Model? I remember that show. I'm surprised that did not go viral for her to even say that. You see what I'm saying? I think Top Model was out. Let me look it up. If I'm not mistaken, Top Model came out when I was in elementary school. No, not came out. Wait. Because I remember the girls in the Boys and Girls Club, when I used to go to the Boys and Girls Club throughout the summer. I remember them used to, like, how some kids play Maury, some kids play Top Model. And let me see. What year did that come out? I'm looking it up, y'all. Damn computer. It came out in 2003? Really? How old was I in 2003? Oh, I wasn't even 10 yet. I wasn't even 10 yet. That all. So it was still going on while I was in elementary school, because I wasn't even 10 the year that it came out. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, um I'm not gonna say it's a classic, because for a show to be a classic to me, I was about to make a correlation that how can you compare your shows to something like that is, that's a classic. But I'm not gonna say it was a classic to me. For a show to be a classic, it has to be something that people still watch to that very day. Like, what's a couple of shows in my opinion, that are classics? The Have and the Have Nots. I told y'all how I feel about that show. What's another one? Proud Family cartoon. I think the Proud Family cartoon, I'm talking about the first one, not Louder and Prouder. I feel like that was something that they could have left alone. To me, a classic is anything that really don't need a remake. Just let it be, because if y'all do a remake, it probably ain't gonna be the same. Like with Louder and Prouder, if I'm not mistaken, what they said, I watched one episode. They talking about Penny said, she told her pappy, she said, "What you gonna do when I graduate high school?" You mean to tell me all these years that girl still ain't graduated high school? Y'all posted, I'm thinking I'm about to see her in college with her little boo, you know, whatever. You mean to tell me this girl, y'all could have left that one alone. My favorite TV show all time, to this very day, Girlfriends. As much as I want them to make a remake, maybe that's something that they need to leave alone, because sometimes when they do them remakes, they mess it up. So it's like, I want y'all to do a remake. I want closure on the situation. I always felt William need to be with a woman that loved him and be there for him. Like, I always felt in my heart I was the right woman for William. He seemed like he very assertive woman, successful, went to school, freaky as hell. Like, I always felt I was the right woman for him. I always wanted to find out if Joan, met somebody that liked her for herself, very quirky, funny, loyal. It seemed like she just kept running into people that she just, seemed like, Maya, I forgot what happened with Maya in the last seasons. I know she had got hooked on drugs. Did she get clean, y'all? I can't remember. Who else? Tony. I always wanted to find out if Tony and Joan got back friends. Lynn. Did she ever I know she had finished school, but did she ever find a job that she really liked? You know what I'm saying? Like, I always wanted closure on the situation. Like, I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I have wrote Mara brought a kill multiple times on social media asking her, can she bring the show back? And she always said, Tyler Perry, she asked him, because she borrowed a studio, do a remake, because they never had no way to really shoot it. But it's just like, damn, like, help her out. I'm wondering to be honest, I'm wondering, was she the problem? Because as we know, Tyler ain't never been one that don't mind doing favors for folks. So, but I know people were saying she probably don't want him to touch it because, it's her stuff. Some people funny about stuff that they write, because they don't, if he put his little dab on it, he may not But I just felt that they should do it while everybody's still living. They still can get the original people. They ain't got to do no, how they used to get new people to act on the new roles. Just, ugh, anyway. No, I done got off topic. But anyway, y'all know I get off topic. But anyway, what was I saying? Shit. Y'all know I get off topic. But nonetheless, um, yeah, that's a classic to me. Certain shows, I was about to say Top Model versus Joseline Cabaret. How could you dare ever make the correlation? But to be honest, how can I really go that hard for Top Model like I used to watch the show? Like I told y'all, back in the Boys and Girls Club, I never really, they used to, it was one girl, she used to have people like practice, like she used to get a group of girls, and I called them the Mean Girl Crew to myself, right? I always referred to them as the Mean Girl Crew. They used to all get together, and like to me, she was like the ringleader, if you ask me. And she would get all the girls together. She would have them line up. Ooh, I think I get what Jocelyn's saying. Like she, Tyra, and the rest of the girls under her. So maybe that's what she meant when she said my bitches. And Jocelyn, when you say stuff like that, that's probably why they refer to you as a pimp. When you say my bitches, my bitches already know. I can't even say Tyra didn't talk to them girls like that. Cause didn't they say back in the day Tyra used to talk to them girls like that? I know a lot of them had said they didn't get paid for stuff and they went hungry and stuff. To be honest, I think a lot of them went hungry because they wanted to go hungry to fit their image. But it's a conversation for another day. But nonetheless, anyway, I'm wearing this Top Model topic out as far as Jocelyn. But y'all get the point. I think I get what she's saying. So they used to like practice Top Model, and then the last two, the girl would say you are America's Next Top Model, and all this other mess. I mean, I think I see the correlation. Like she referring to herself as Tyra. Well, if that's the way you want to put it, I guess you could put it that way because it ain't. I mean, I didn't care much for the show, but I can't say, obviously, I can't say ain't nobody watched that show because I just told y'all people in the Boys and Girls Club was watching it. So obviously somebody was watching it. Just like I heard people say, don't nobody watch Joseline Cabaret. But I watch Joseline Cabaret. So, I mean, I guess it's like, we can agree to disagree. What you may not watch, somebody else may watch. Top Model, people used to watch it. What I didn't watch, what I watched, the next person may not watch it. You know what I'm saying? So I guess we can agree to disagree. I think DJ Envy. I'm gonna make my point about DJ Envy. Then I think I'm gonna wrap this up. Okay, so DJ Envy. I think DJ Envy pulled her card, to be honest with y'all. The reason why I say that because, or was that Jess who had said that? One of them had said, if you go back and watch the interview, you will see what I'm talking about. I think it was Jess when she brought up how Mona portrayed her to basic. In so many words, she was saying Mona portrayed you to be a confrontational person. Then you went on Zeus and they portrayed you to be a confrontational person. Then she said, I think it was Jess. She said, how you feel about this, right? I think what Jess was trying to say is, in so many words, is it you or is it them? I think that's what she was trying to say. And to that, I told y'all, whenever stuff like that arises with folks, to me, going through what I have went through in life thus far, like especially in my younger days, especially, I don't just jump on it's always the other people's side. You see what I'm saying? Because wait, y'all, hold on. Reading that email. Wait a minute. What the hell are you talking about? So anyway, um, so yeah, anyway, so what was I saying? Shit. Uh, so yeah, um, hold on. I ain't having my glasses. I was trying to read that email, and when I squinch too hard, it gives me a headache. Um, so my eyes trying to get my eye. Got to go put some eye drops in my eyes. But anyway, nonetheless, so wait, okay, so boom. What was I saying, y'all? So yeah, I don't jump on the bandwagon when I heard people say stuff like, okay, well, it gotta be heard because all these other people ain't lying. Da da da. I never been the type to just jump on board. Yeah, because it can't be because I know how it feels to be that person. You see what I'm saying? Because sometimes it is a case of following the masses. Sometimes with folks, right? I didn't say all the time, but sometimes it is, right? So I automatically, I'm not the type to just, well, everybody ain't lying. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I always been the type that I could think for myself. I can get to know people for myself. Just because you may hear the same person say something, that don't mean it's not necessarily the truth. Because if I had a quarter for every time somebody came back and said to me, hey, you know, my bad. I was just going off of what they said, or even I've had people tell me, okay, let's move forward. I've had people get mad at me. Like, y'all, when I tell you, I've had people get mad at me because they trying to fix the issue as far as like, okay, I give you an example recently, not even a month ago, long story short, I had somebody tell me that it's time for me to get over how they did me in the beginning and put it in the past because life too short and I need to let it go, right? So here's what I say to that. That's not the first time I've had somebody say that, right? But my thing is when you just meet me in the beginning, you don't be mean to me based off of what somebody else told you. I don't care how many times you heard that because just like they told you, I don't even talk to those people. I walk right past them and don't even speak to them. So that should tell you right then, like, you were mean to me based off of what they said. And you trying to tell me I need to just let it be and just, put it in the past and just start brand new. It don't work that way with me. I may forgive you, but I just don't let a lot of shit rock out. Like talking about it just off the strength of putting it in the past. That's just not how I operate, right? Boom. So that's just a little example of how I don't run with it, right? As far as what people say, I always, based on what I've been through, I know you have to, not to say you have to see all sides, but you get what I'm saying. So anyway, boom. So I get what Jess saying, but I kind of don't, but I do. But in the same context, nonetheless, DJ Envy pulled her card too. The way, if you listen to the interview, the tone in the room, the spirit in the room, they were giving her a lot of right, yeah, right, right, like, girl, whatever. Like when she said top model, Jess was like, yeah, top model, yeah, right, yeah. When she mentioned her song, Jess was like, you go, girl, yeah, right. Like, girl, boo. If you really listen, if you really good with like peeping, you know how the old saying goes, it's a lot of body language and people words. If you really good with like noticing the flow in a room with how like people carrying a person, you would see what I'm saying. Like the spirit in the room. Like a guy once told me, you gotta learn how to read the emotions of people in a room. Like when you like before you even hold a conversation with them, sometimes how people feel about you can be on their face, how sometimes how the people feel about you could be on their body language towards you. Like, I worked a job one time, and long story short, one of the guys there had and this was at the same job, right? That the guy had pulled me to the side and told me that. And long story short, I worked a job. Long story short, this was a couple years ago. And the guy had, let's just say he said something to me that he didn't have no business saying to me, right? So I snitched. And not only did I tell the supervisor, I took it up. I took it up the chain of command. I mean, I skipped a great many people head, like, and you know, when you come work certain jobs, I told y'all for the most part, I've always had good jobs, but you know, the better the job, um, I mean, when I tell y'all, I skipped over the foreman's head, I skipped over the chief's head, I skipped over a lot of people head, so which I had to learn. You know, I was younger then. I had to learn when you do stuff like that, you can make a lot of people look bad because it makes it look like they not handling the job. They're not handling you'll see how this relates to what I'm saying, then I'm gonna wrap it up. It makes it look like they not doing their job, right? So when I did that, the guy, by him having a lot of good pals there, it basically put a target on my back, right? So I didn't know, which I told the guy, I said, I thought they said in orientation, if anybody ever said something to you sexually, you know, whatever, you need to report it. You know, they have a zero tolerance for that and this, that, and the third. And he said, that's what they say, but they don't mean it. You know, they looking at you like you're a snitch. You know, and I'm like, but that's not what he did, of course. And he said, I know that, you know that. But, you know, they not looking at it that way. So long story short, I think y'all know how stuff like that can be with folks. You know what I'm saying? Y'all read about it, stuff like that. So, after that, you know, long story short, I could come in and, you know, the way they were just carrying it, you could tell they was pissed off about it. So the guy once told me, he said, you know, you need to learn to read the room. Read the room. You know what I'm saying? See the emotions of people. See, you know, and just, you know, it was a lot of, yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, you know. And I'm like, and I look towards, you know, the guy and I'm like, well, why he said, because they look at you like you're a snitch. I said, you think so? He said, yeah, you know, already been labeled a snitch. You know, already been labeled a snitch. I said, you think so? He said, I know so. You know, he said the guys here say stuff like that to women all the time, but you the only woman that really reported that shit. You know, that's a problem. You know, and you know, it just was what it was, and you know, but it's all good. You know, at first I was upset about it, the way they went about it, but you know, God had other plans, so it's all good. But like you know, as I got older, I realized, you know, I didn't need to work nowhere that I could be labeled a target. Well, ain't no could be. I could become a target for opening my mouth with somebody saying something to me that they ain't had no business saying to me. And he still got his job, and then I was out of a job. You know, I just thought that was so effed up, and it kind of upset me in that moment. But, you know, like I said, you know, I don't need to work or around people that do stuff like that. But nonetheless, I might let that be a story time for another day. But anyway, so that's how, you know, as you get older, you accumulate wisdom. That's how I could tell that the yeah, right, you know, based on my experience, I could see the spirit in the room. if that makes sense. So anyway, nonetheless, do I think it was a good interview they did? Yeah. But based on their responses to Joseline, I could tell that they was holding back with her. As far as what they really want to say. Jess within hers, yeah, right. Underneath all of that, to be honest, it sounded like she wanted to say, girl, shut the hell up. Like, who you think you fooling? Me or yourself? Underneath DJ Envy's like, yeah, right. He sounded like he wanted to say, you think we don't watch the show to see how you do? And was Charlamagne there? Was he? I don't think I remember hearing him, but nonetheless, I think it was a good interview, but you could tell they were holding back with her. I think my favorite part of the interview was when Amber's brought up, not Amber, Joseline. Who brought up Amber? I can't remember. But I remember just saying that Amber only wants to be black when it's convenient or something like that. Or was that Joseline? One of them had brought up how she basically don't claim her blackness. So to me, that registers as she only claims her blackness when it's convenient. To me, that's basically what that registers as. I told y'all my brain, the way it cracks stuff down. People always tell me I read too deep into things ever since I was a child. That's just the way my brain is. Like, I always like to look at every single surface. Yeah. But nonetheless, it sounds legit. Sounds about right. I could see it. I mean, but nonetheless, I think it was a good interview. It was very interesting. I told y'all the spirit in the room just seemed like it was here for Joseline, but not too tough. But yeah. So that's about it.